Welcome to a special edition of the GN Sports Show. This is our World Cup edition where we talk matchups, teams, specific players, or players to watch for during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I am Terry Andrew.
And I'm George Dublin.
All right, we have a lot to get into in this special edition of the GN Sports Show. And we're just going to jump right into it. Of course, former national player and captain George Dublin has put a notes for us and information that we need to know going into this summer and the World Cup hosted in Mexico, Canada, and of course the United States. So CONCACAF have the most teams in this World Cup this year. Let's talk about CONCACAF first. CONCACAF have the most teams in this World Cup. Am I right?
Yes, it's definitely right.
Yeah.
We have 6 teams in the World Cup. We have the 3 host teams, which are Mexico, USA, and Canada. And then we also have the qualifying tees, which are Haiti, Panama, and Curacao.
Yeah. I'm so happy for Curacao.
Yes,
that they're getting, they're a bit close to us. So, and the smallest nation in the World Cup, Curacao. All right.
Is Curacao the smallest nation or Cape Verde?
Yeah, I think, nation? Yeah. So Curacao is smallest and then Cape Verde.
Oh,
yeah,
Cape Verde. Okay,
smallest. All right. So let's jump into it. Let's start with Group A. What we like there? What we like in Group A?
Group A consists of Mexico, South Korea, Czech Republic, and South Africa, Terry. Mexico, who's always been CONCACAF powerhouse and has had some decent runs over the last couple of years in the World Cup. Yeah. They have some young, talented players. They have Raul Jimenez, and they also have Gilberto Mora, who led them in scoring in the qualifiers. So that's definitely a team that we should take note of. Mexico's always been a well-organized team, and they could make the ball move.
Yeah. And I think and they're coupled with the Hispanic style of playing football. The passing, the controlling, the tiki-taka looking football. That like the technical ability, like you see their technique first. On the ball. But then again, this is the World Cup. Everybody has technique and everybody has a plan going in. But I believe like the Mexico can be coupled with the Hispanics, how the South Americans play. How, like some of those top Spanish teams who would play football. That's what I see when I see Mexico. Yeah,
well, most definitely. They have a lot of overseas based players also. A lot of the players play in Europe. So with that, the European, and especially like in Spain, they play a couple players from the past and present. They are playing in that country, so they would be playing that kind of tiki-taki, free-flowing football for sure.
Ochoa though, someone said anytime they see World Cup, they see Ochoa first for Mexico.
You don't hear about Ochoa until every 4 years.
Tournament time.
Tournament time is when they hear about Ochoa, and he always comes up trumps. He is never disappointed. When Mexico loses, it's very rarely Ochoa's fault. Ochoa's fault. But moving on from Mexico, we have South Korea in that group. We have the Tottenham legend.
Yeah, my big man.
Tottenham legend now playing in the United States with LAFC.
No. They say when you go to the US, that's when you slow down. But I don't think there's no slowing down with him. He's still sprinting ahead. He's still doing what he does. Maybe the rigors of an English Premier League, that long season in the English Premier League, the toll it takes on your body. Maybe that's one of the influences and of course the commercial part of football. Everybody goes to MLS for the commercial side. When they came in the latter parts of their career. But he's still scoring goals, he's still running, he's still the leader, and I'm sure that like South Korea still trust him to bring them some sort of success at the World Cup.
Well, definitely. I believe that he's going to be someone that you have to pay attention to. They say the lower the leagues go is the less you have to do to impact a game. But knowing him, because remember he was supposed to go into the army, and they had to win. I think it was the African Cup of Nations, Asian Cup, and he won the Asian Cup, and that saved him from going into the army and giving the opportunity to propel his professional career. And also his father, who went into the army and then was basically his manager, who had him under a strict regimen. I think that mentality is something you don't lose.
Yeah.
So we know he's going to be a top performer for them in this World Cup.
Definitely.
And then we have the Czech Republic, you know, who is not a bad team, to be honest. Yeah, not a bad team at all.
Not at all. But but I mean, in that side of the world, I mean, coming out of their qualifying, because there's a number of other good teams around them, but to qualify through your group and make it to a World Cup, that's no easy feat. That is no easy feat. So being in the World Cup alone, I think, is a win for Czech Republic. They've been there before, of course, 10 times. So this would be the 11th appearance?
No, this is the 10th appearance.
Oh, this is their 10th appearance. Yeah, so...
But the last time they was in the World Cup was 2006. So that's what, easy 20 years was the last time they've been in the World Cup.
Yeah. And I think because of the breakup of the countries, I think you had to rebuild who you have. Because, I think they were with... This is the team with the Vitchers, with a number of the Vitchers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think they would have been breaking into something before they named Czechia, because I think their name is Czechia Republic now instead of the Czech Republic. Yeah, so I think they got a new name. So I believe they probably had to rebuild from where they were before. To get back, but they're back in the World Cup again. So
looking from the previous the record over the last 5 games, they have 3 wins, 2 draws, and no losses. That is something that you could look at let's say present form going into the World Cup. You know what I'm saying? At least you could see they're resilient. They haven't lost. If they're not winning, they're drawing it, and if they're not drawing it, they're winning it. So you can't really rule them out, because I think a couple of their games were like 1-0. And so forth, 2-0 wins.
And they ranked 41st in the
41st in the world.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Czechia. We'll see.
We moved on to the last team in the group here, which is South Africa, and making their 4th appearance. Their last appearance was when they hosted the World Cup.
Okay.
So they will be glad to be back in the World Cup. That's 26 years now.
Yeah, an African country.
As well.
Yeah. And remember when they played the host. When they hosted their World Cup. Yeah, they played Mexico first, and that Shabalala goal.
Yes.
That goal for Africa.
And the Mexico played them first. Hopefully we'll play them first.
In
this upcoming World Cup.
Yeah.
So, but let me just get into our predictions on how this group will fare out, Terry.
Okay.
I'm going to go first here.
Okay.
I'm going with Mexico coming out number 1 in this group here. I've seen South Korea coming too, and I believe the Czech Republic has enough to be the 3rd team coming out of this group.
Okay, and I'm piggybacking on you as well. I don't see where South Africa gets a win in this group. Maybe against Czech Republic, maybe, but I think that's a maybe. Do they have enough? I don't know. But I'm along the lines with you. Mexico, South Korea, and Czech Republic coming out as the best 3rd place team across the 12 groups. So the 8 best 3rd place teams across the 8 groups. So then again, Czech Republic and South Africa might be a little iffy, but might be iffy. But I guess we can say the top 2 being Mexico and South Korea.
Well, and based on ranking, if you're a statistic person, Terry, based on rankings, the FIFA rankings for all 4 teams in this group is Mexico is ranked 13, South Korea ranked 22, Czech Republic is 41, and South Africa is 61.
Okay.
Right, and if we go with World Cup appearances, Mexico is leading in World Cup appearance with 18. South Korea has 12, Czechia has 10, and South Africa only has 4. I know sometimes the statistics does not really fare out, but in some cases it does. That's kind of where it is leading us at this minute.
Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on to Group B now, Terry.
Yep.
And Group B consists of Switzerland, Canada, Qatar, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is? Yes.
Yeah.
Terry. So, there's for this group, I think the biggest name in this group is really Switzerland, to be honest. Most renowned, they probably made the most World Cup appearances out of all these teams.
Yeah, but Canada will be one of the host countries. So Canada is hosting, and when you're playing at home, no care who you're playing against, and again, it's a World Cup. But when you're playing at home and you have that 12th man in the stands pushing you on, sometimes it helps. It helps.
And it definitely does. But you know that Switzerland has the like a Granit Xhaka, and you know, Granit Xhaka is a big name player. I think he was an Arsenal player for some time.
Yeah. Is Shaqiri back? Is
Shaqiri
retired?
Yeah,
okay,
Shaqiri is retired. Jan Sommer, I think, has retired. That's the goalkeeper.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
You know, but that's still, they have produced quality players, and you know, all the money in football is banked in Switzerland. So if all the money is banked in Switzerland, I think Switzerland is getting a good bit to be able to develop the programs, and you know, they have had good teams in the World Cup and in the Euros in past years. Canada's number one scorer is Jonathan David, top goal scorer for them. So and he's at home, so we definitely know that there's going to be some sting within the Canadian team. The Qatar now is at the second World Cup.
Yeah, after hosting one, so they didn't have to qualify for that one.
Yeah, but they didn't have to. But they went to a World Cup, so I guess some of us maybe need to try to host a World Cup to get to one
to get in,
and then maybe that will give us the confidence to be able to go on and qualify for
the other.
You know, so that is that one there. And as we say, Bosnia Herzegovina. I think this is the first World Cup. If I'm not, no, this is the second World Cup also. And they're big players. Eden Dzeko, who we all know was a top goal scorer in Man City for years, and now he's on the lower end of his career, but still, a
goal scorer is a goal scorer, right?
Is a goal scorer. So basically from there, but with this one, Terry, it's kind of not so difficult to predict. But I'll give you the first go at it.
Yeah, well. My first team, of course, will be Switzerland, as in the top team coming out of the group. Canada, being at home, I don't see you. I don't see you getting into the final 8 or the final 4, but I think you're getting out of the first round. Being 48 teams, then cut down to 32. So 1 and 2. My 1 and 2 is Switzerland and Canada. Of course, any of these teams getting in on a third place?
Well, they're gonna have to
maybe
come third in the first place. So we can predict that who is going to come, who will come third, but whether or not they get into the final.
Okay, so top 3: Switzerland, Canada, and Bosnia.
That's what you take.
That's my top 3.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go Switzerland, Canada, but I'm gonna give Qatar a go.
Okay.
I'm going to give Qatar a go. I believe they probably might be a bit more hungry than Bosnia. And you know, the money is down there.
Yeah, but no. But
the oil money is down there.
But you see, who else on that end, on that side of the world? I would give Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. We'll talk about Saudi Arabia coming down in the end there because their league have strengthened.
Right.
And Saudi Arabia, they're in Group H. But their league have strengthened, so I'm hoping that being your league has strengthened, you will get something from Saudi Arabia. Qatar, that's my iffy part. But between them and Saudi Arabia, I'll give Saudi Arabia the nod, as in getting a third place spot. Saudi Arabia because their league have strengthened. Qatar would have,
but their league have strengthened with. What we would say players on the tail end, some on the tail end.
Because I was just about to tell you.
Some on the tail end, on the tail end of their career. But it's, you know, sometimes you strengthen your league, but you strengthen your league from a marketing perspective. Because even with the MLS, when all these players go for the MLS, it's not so much a strength in the teams from the football perspective. It's about the marketability. You understand me? Say getting eyes there and things like that.
And USA have a lot of players playing outside of the MLS as well. So
you know, so
in that squad. So
the game. So as I say, my 3 would be Switzerland, Canada, and Qatar. And you're going with Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll move on to Group C now, Terry.
Yeah, and they say a World Cup never starts with if you don't talk about Brazil. if as long as Brazil is in the conversation, that's when the World Cup really starts.
Well, we're definitely going at Brazil here now.
Group C.
Group C. So Terry, you'll just let the viewers know
how we're going. Group C: Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, and CONCACAF team Haiti in there. I mean, Brazil is going to be Brazil, and
Brazil is going to be Brazil by name, Terry.
No. But like a World Cup. First team you think about is Brazil.
Yeah, definitely.
What are they coming with? Whoever they're coming with, we saw the selection, the disappointments, and all the chaos over Neymar's pick.
Yes.
Yeah, and João Pedro. being left out of that 26-man squad there.
Before we move on, in terms of Japejo and Thiago, Thiago is the other striker who plays at Brentford. He was picked in the team. I would believe that I'm not 100% sure if he scored more goals than Japejo, which I think he's the third highest goal scorer in the Premier League this season gone there, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not seeing him being a better player than Japejo. I'm not. I'm a Chelsea fan, so some people tend to think I might be a bit biased going in that situation. But from the Brazil point of view, we have Vinicius Junior, Real Madrid, we have Rafinha, Barcelona, we have Cunha. Yeah. There's a host of top names
all over that
and
squad.
We haven't even mentioned the coach.
All over that squad.
We have not even mentioned the coaches yet for Brazil, Terry. So history alone is going to pick Brazil to come out of the group.
Yeah. just by name, just by name and the sheet and their squad. You think, well, of course,
Brazil.
They can make it out of this group.
Gabriel, it is from Arsenal. So they have Marquinhos from PSG. It's a whole host of top players they have. So definitely Brazil is one of the teams we're going to look for. But moving on to Morocco, Morocco is no slouch either.
Yeah.
Being crowned African Cup of Nations and did not win the final.
By default, but I mean, it works.
It works.
It's a way as well. And yes, they appealed and they won.
Well, and it's no fault. Can you consider they a fault of theirs?
No. But the rules were in the rules all the time. But is it a good look? Maybe not. Maybe not. But
it's not a good look. But I'm saying the look does not reflect Senegal nor Morocco, in my opinion. The look kind of more reflect the African Cup of Nations committee. In that instance,
because you see this and you hear this mentioned all the time. The game is won on the field, not in the court. But I mean, it's an avenue, so it is a part of winning as well. But Morocco, they looked good. They got to they came third. They got to the final four in the last tournament.
In the last edition, isn't it?
Yeah. They got to the final four in the last edition. So. Maybe they want to do better this time, go further, even make it into the final. So they are one of the teams to watch.
And I think this tournament is going to kind of more cement their captain Hakimi. From this tournament, I think this is going to assert him as maybe one of the best, if not the best, right back playing the game right now. You know what I'm saying?
And he gets up there.
Yeah,
he gets up there every time. He's on every attack.
He's on every attack
and every defense.
End of the pitch. So and they are ranked very well. They are in the top 10 in the world. And they for African nations, there's very few African nations get into the top 10.
Yeah, and
world football.
Listen, and two top 10 countries with Brazil and them in that league. Okay, so. It's a no-brainer. The two sides that are coming out of this
group, along with, and they also have Scotland and Haiti. It's the toss between the third place between Scotland and Haiti.
Being from CONCACAF, I want Haiti to do well. I really want Haiti to do well in this. But I think they're in a group that with two top 10 countries in the world right now with Brazil and Morocco.
So where you going, Terry? Scotland or Haiti?
I have to go with Scotland. I have to go with Scotland.
I would love to go with Scotland, Terry, but I'm staying.
You're staying with
I'm staying CONCACAF, Terry. I'm showing caution to the win here. I've played against a few Haitian teams in my time, and they have been absolutely fantastic teams. I've always said to my peers that I believe the best Caribbean team I've ever played against is Haiti. No disrespect to the others, Jamaica and Cuba and Trinidad and so on. I just think the best teams I've ever played against, I played Martinique and Guadeloupe, and the Haitians are just different. I probably get the worst shit from football in Korea.
From Haitian.
Against Haiti, Terry. But so I'm going with Haiti to be the third place team. Whether or not it would be enough to get them into the 32 is, basically something we have to do there. But Terry, we just talked about the first three groups so far in the World Cup. I think we could take a quick break with that, and then get back to it. So with that, we'll take a quick break, and we're back with a special edition of the 2026 World Cup, FIFA World Cup prediction show. We're into Group D with the host and what do you say? North American favorite, Terry?
Yeah, another host. And where they ranked? Where they ranked in the world? 15. 15th in the world. Do they belong 15? No way in hell they're 15 world best team out there. But they've been getting results.
Terry, I think they I think they deserve the 15th place, Terry. I know it seems a bit far-fetched based on the quality of teams that we have in Europe and so on and so forth, but
yeah,
they have players playing in those leagues. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we were saying that majority of the US players were players that were playing in the US, maybe we could argue a point. But for me, I think because the caliber players they have in the club, some of them are playing in AC Milan, Juventus, in France, in some big clubs in France also. I think it can be called that they should be 15. In my opinion.
Well, yeah.
In my opinion.
And when they play their friendlies, it's everybody want to compete.
The big countries they play against, and so they get results against some of these big countries.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, so I think.
All right. So USA, Turkey, Australia, and Paraguay. Okay. Australia always a staple, no? We've seen them in a lot of World Cups. This is their 7th appearance. Yeah, we've seen them in a lot of World Cups. I mean, coming from the Oceanic side, I think that's their group, right? That's
Oceania. Yeah.
Oceania area. They always seem to make it there and be one of the standout teams here. But when they get into, the World Cup, they still make noise. Yeah,
Well, I think the most, what we say, memorable World Cup for me was when they had Mark DeVoe. Is Mark DeVoe it was? Who played with Leeds. I think Mark DeVoe is from Australia, and then they have this little short guy who used to play at Everton.
Cahill.
Forward, right?
Cahill, yes. I remember those teams.
Yes, they had Cahill. And then now they have Matt Ryan, who is basically the goalkeeper. I think he didn't keep, for some reason he didn't. I'm not sure. I saw a prediction, a predicted lineup, and I didn't see him in it. But Australia is definitely going to be a team we have to, pay some attention to.
Yeah. Turkey, they're making their 3rd appearance. They had that youngster there, Gula.
Ardigula. Ardigula is something special.
Brilliant
left foot.
Ardigula
is something special.
Yeah.
And he's playing in Real Madrid, and to play in Real Madrid, Terry,
that's not easy.
It doesn't happen just like that.
You got to be special. You got to be special somewhere.
And the Paraguay. With Miguel Amaran, who is is known for scoring some really good goals in for Atlanta United in the MLS. Yeah,
Paraguay coming out of South America, getting to a World Cup, that's no easy feat as well.
Yes.
But I think they're going to be up against it in this group. We all know USA going to come out of this group.
We all believe.
Yeah, I mean, being at home again, being at home, and with that home factor, and you know how good they are at home, no matter who they play. The Americans gonna come out in their numbers.
This saying, Terry, the 12th man. And when America play, it's like the 12,000 man or the 1200,000, because I've yet very rarely see a game in America with America, whether it be male or female, and it's poorly attended.
Yeah.
It's very, very, and you don't know how it is in terms of the advertising point of it is always well sponsored, put together. The commentary teams and those games is be always on par. Sometimes you could listen USA play and like you're watching USA play because the commentary is always so spot on.
Yeah.
Turkey, I think should be good. Ardigulu is as we say a top player in Europe, and it's his opportunity to really put some more marketability on his name. And the South American brand of football with Paraguay is not something you're going to take lightly. It's not something you're going to take lightly.
Yeah, okay, so we're picking out 3 now, right?
Yes, we're picking out 3 now.
All right, so I'm going with USA, Turkey, and Australia. The only reason I'm saying Paraguay won't make it beyond this group stage. Them and Australia won't make it beyond the group stage, but if I'm putting anyone in the 3rd spot, I'm putting Australia. Just because just because Australia coming into this World Cup and look at the is it win, draw, loss, right?
Yes, it's win, draw, loss.
Yeah. They have a better record than Australia. Oh, but maybe I'm making a mistake then. But they're 27th rank, ain't 27th rank for anything, for just being Australia. So I give them the edge over Paraguay in this. Not their form, but maybe being ranked over Paraguay. That's why I put Australia in that top 3 there. If we're going to a good third place team, the best third place team, I give Australia that edge. But obviously USA and Turkey are getting onto that league.
1 and 2. Yeah, I would say USA and Turkey definitely 1 and 2, to be honest. I don't think they will be playing each other in the first game. I think USA first game will be Paraguay. So if USA gets to win there, Paraguay is going to be starting behind the 8 ball, you would want to say. And then it would be Australia and Turkey. However that goes, then if somebody gets to win, then it kind of opens it up for any one of the other two to be third place. Give and take. If Turkey
but I see Turkey giving USA a challenge. Not winning. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I see Turkey giving USA a challenge. Can Australia give USA that kind of challenge? Maybe not.
Maybe not. And I think, to be honest, in terms of the way in which USA play with this high line, or that high press.
First of all, hold on. Let's talk about Mauricio Pochettino. When he was at Spurs, right? I'm telling you, we were flying. For some reason, we looked unbeatable at times playing that brand of football, winning it high and attacking, pressing. I mean, that's the time we had a Dele Alli, we had a Lamela, we had Kane at the top there too. We had some guys that when they win it, it's hitting them back. Sometimes I think we saw a Ryan Mason in the middle there before he got the head injury and all that. A young Ryan. I remember against Chelsea, and I think that was the biggest win we ever had over Chelsea. Was I think a 4-2 or 4-3 win. But it was that pressing style, being in your face, because everybody want to play out of the back now, being in your face and winning it and hitting Kane, and Kane just need a half a chance to score. So that Mauricio Pochettino's pressing style, being in your face, want to win it high and do something with it high. I think he brought that to the thing, and attacking on these wing sides.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he brings something to the USA. Yes, he's been criticized many times, especially when USA don't
in
do
the
well.
early starts, especially in the Gold Cup when they weren't doing well.
Yeah.
He's good, but as you say, his key strengths as a coach is his aggressive presence.
Yeah.
And he plays 3 in the back, 4 in midfield, and then he has a 2 and a 1. So that's how he plays, and so that gives him more people to press higher, because when they play to 4, that's 4 back. But if you have more players up pitch, then you could press higher, and that's kind of his style. It's a bit different for what the US, because US predominantly would have different. They had European coaches and they have American coaches in the past, but now he's in Argentine with a different type of a way about where he do things. And he's always been a good coach. He's been to Chelsea, as you said, he's been to PSG and had success. But the international game and the club game, you're coaching every day. The international game, you only had such amount of time to be able to get it in. But I believe he can get the job done, and get USA to where they want to go. And the next thing for the USA, just before we move on, when I saw maybe like a couple of practice games for them, and Weah is coming off the bench, and if Weah has to come off the bench, there is some depth in that team, Terry.
Yeah.
You understand? They say Burhout, I think, comes off the bench also, so that team is really deep. So he has a lot at his disposal. It's just being able to maneuver them at the right times and in the times when he needs to make certain adjustments.
Case in point, when he had a lot at his disposal at Chelsea, we saw how that worked out. When he had limited resources to work with at Spurs, we saw, he lift them, took them to the Champions League final.
But sometimes in cases like that, it's about adaptability of players and ego of players. At Chelsea, there probably were more high-profile players who maybe worked under higher profile coaches than him.
Okay.
And at Tottenham now, where all those players trying to get themselves within the game and their set of respectability, and so they gave him more than he probably got at Chelsea. But I understand what you're saying, and in all that fairness. So with that group, Terry, let me just get this one out the way kind of quickly. Well, both of us are USA has 1, Turkey has 2. I'm going to go with the South Americans because I love the South American style of football. I don't like it all the time, but I do love it, and I think Paraguay as a previous World Cup champion, I think Paraguay is it's Uruguay. Sorry, Uruguay is the previous one. But as Paraguay coming from South America, I'm giving them my third pick. My third pick, definitely. So that is we just finished up Group D. They are now moving on to Group E. The four-time champions Germany is in that group. 4-time champions Germany. Ecuador, another South American team. Ivory Coast. I think this is the first African team we're featuring so far, Terry.
Morocco then.
We're Morocco, and then now we're featuring the Ivory Coast and our very own Curacao.
Yeah, every video you've seen of Curacao, they're praying or they're dancing. As they leading up to the World Cup. They're praying or dancing. I don't know what that means. That probably means they're in a good frame of mind. Their first match will be Germany. Again, a powerhouse. I don't expect them to do much, but I think getting a draw or a win is a win for Curacao, because coming out of qualifying ahead of Jamaica and more or less extent Trinidad.
I think remember too, within that whole thing there was the likes of Costa Rica and Honduras also trying to get out. And to get out over all those things. Because Costa Rica has maybe been to the last 2 editions of the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. And this has been a bit, a letdown for them. I'm definitely sure that has been a letdown for us.
Yeah, but as the smallest nation in the World Cup, and Caribbean flair and feel about it. Yeah, so I'm hoping Curacao gets at least a win or draw in this group. Now, being there alone is a win for Curacao. I just believe they can get a draw. A win may be hard to come by, but we see throughout the qualifiers.
Before you go on,
they were organized. Go ahead.
Who they get it with the Dragons? Listen, I'm just curious on your take on Curacao getting a draw. It's Germany. When Germany last 5 games has not lost a game, not draw again. We all know Jamal Musiala is no easy footballer to contend with. I'm not saying that the Curacao might not, because most of the players are from the Netherlands and play the professional football there. Then we have Ecuador, who is a solid South American team with Moses Caicedo of Chelsea and.
Listen, I hear that.
Ivory Coast is a powerhouse in Africa.
And Ivory Coast is my second team throughout the entire World Cup to do well.
But before we go, how you do that? Because I am one of these type of people. I'm going with France in the World Cup.
And that's it? No, because something happens.
No, I don't do that.
Things can happen.
Terry.
Things can happen.
Terry, you have one life. Where did they come alive? Terry is one life you have. When you're dead, you can't come back alive. So I just go with one.
With one?
In any tournament. So you see the Lakers and Lakers get knocked out, my NBA thing finish.
No, besides.
Terry. So Terry, I'm not having a conversation with you.
No. With football, with football and the English Premier League, I only have one team, and I understand it from that perspective. All right, so I like Germany.
Yes, definitely.
I will go with
Germany myself.
Yeah, but this is the trick part. I like Germany and Ivory Coast to come out of Group E.
So you going with your 2 teams?
Germany and Ivory Coast coming out of
So you going with your 2
No. England is my number one. But we'll get there.
Germany, Ivory Coast, and you gotta get third. I go with Germany. I believe Germany, Ivory Coast, and the obvious choice should be Ecuador.
Right? Yeah,
should be Ecuador. But I'm gonna go with Ecuador. If Curacao surprises me, I could appreciate it. From that thing. As we know, the rankings are few. Nobody. Ecuador is 24 in the world. Germany is 10.
No, and I saw the match between Scotland and Curacao. And Curacao, they were playing good football against that Scottish team before they got a red card. And then I think they lost like 4-1 or something like that. Right. And I saw something that I was like, wait, no. Is this Curacao going to, the league or what's not? We saw them against Jamaica I saw them against Jamaica in Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
And that was the game. That was both of them draw, right?
No, they won the game in Curacao. I think they beat them in Curacao.
They beat them in Curacao.
Yeah, they beat them in Curacao. But that was the better game of the two. Because remember when they went to Jamaica, they just needed a draw.
Yeah,
they could have seen the sense of just them. They're trying to win, but there's more preserved than it was.
Yeah.
But so they won in Curacao. Just quick again. I have so much stories never funny, but we gotta keep it rolling. And
they had their first World Cup. So I mean, a win or a draw, anywhere in that group, it's a win for Curacao.
Yeah. So definitely, and as we know, the Germans are the favorite to come out of that group. I think 4-time champions. They are the Germans, something like that, 4-time champions. So I think they won the last World Cup. They won in 2018 in Brazil. I think they won that World Cup.
That was the last one?
Yeah, I think the last one they won was the one.
Yes. They won in Brazil.
The Germans.
Yeah, beating Argentina, of course, the 1-0.
So basically, that is the one. So moving on now, Terry, from Group E to Group F. And we have in Group F now, we have
the Orange Men.
The Orange Men. The Orange Men and quote unquote the best defender in the world. I don't know if it is by play.
Hold on. Don't forget, Van der Ven is a part of that team too. But I know you're pointing to Van Dijk. I know you're pointing to Van Dijk.
As I say, the best defender in the world. If anybody says the best defender in the world and Van der Ven is the first name that jumps out, I will be very, very much amused, Terry. But we all know is Van Dijk is rated as the best defender in the world. We have from Asia, Japan, and also in that group we have the Swedes who hasn't been to a World Cup in a grand time. The Swedes haven't been, and then there's lowly Tunisia making up the rest of them.
Yeah, I like Japan in this group. I really do. Yes, the favorites is the Netherlands, but I like Japan because of what they have done in previous World Cup. I mean, sometimes they don't make it out of the group, but next time they're making it out of the group. I think they made it to
a semi-finals. I think it was when they hosted it. Quarterfinals.
No. It was South Korea.
South Korea and Japan.
I think it was both of them. Okay, yeah. Okay, good.
And I think from that World Cup is when they actually got on the map. When people started, and I think it's more of not so much the technical ability or the style of play, but like they couldn't get tired. Everybody was like, nah, this team is like the game just started for everybody, and you could see that in the couple of games that they played previously in the warm-ups. Basically, the warm-up record before the World Cup is 5 wins.
Yeah, and I read an article before the last World Cup, right? Or during the last World Cup, and it said that Japan had put a plan in place to win the World Cup by 2060 or 2050, somewhere around there. No, a plan is a plan, but at least you're working towards something. Right. You're working towards something, and I don't think you can't beat a plan. A plan is a plan, and I think they were on the verge of knocking out Spain. When that ball is supposed to cross the line, it didn't cross the line. Remember that controversy?
Yes, I remember that.
Against Spain that time, and Spain is a powerhouse. So I'm looking for good things from Japan. They're ranked 19th in the world, and that's pretty good. 5 wins in the last 5 matches. They got 5 wins in there. This is the 8th World Cup. I believe
they're the last World Cup.
Yeah, I believe they're going places. So Japan and Netherlands are like in this group. I mean, Sweden is back again. Yeah, Sweden is back again.
I'm saying this for some of our viewers who are big Arsenal fans. If we kind of rule out Sweden, we might be tainted, Terry, as Arsenal haters. Hey, Terry, I'm trying my best to not, because I have about 4 friends that really do back Arsenal, and when you rule out an Arsenal player, they're going to be coming at me, Terry. But I'm not seeing Sweden really making it out of this group. To be honest, I believe the Japanese has a lot more to offer. The big player, Kubo, who plays for Real Sociedad in Spain, has been, I think it was either the top goal scorer or the top assist for them in the qualifiers. So as I'm going with the Netherlands, 1, Japan 2, and I'll give Sweden my bid as the 3rd place team coming out of that.
To get into that.
Yeah, so you're going the same way, Terry?
Yes. Netherlands, Japan, 2 sure going through, and we can give Sweden that. Tunisia, that's an African country too.
Yeah, Tunisia is an African country, yes.
So let's maybe not.
Maybe. listen, we will leave room for the upset. We will call it the underdog.
Yeah, for something to happen, because some crazy thing must happen in this World Cup. I don't care what no one says. I don't think it's gonna happen in the first 48, maybe by 32.
Right.
I think the usual suspects will get through the first 48.
And then we see what happens then. Well, I'm telling you, we have covered 6 groups so far, from Group A to F, and with some really intriguing matchups so far, tell you. But we're going to take a quick break,
Sorry.
and we'll be right back with this edition of the 2026 World Cup in the US, Canada, and Mexico here on the GN Sports Show.